Dear students, welcome to DM classes on language and literature. I think you are perfectly well, and today after discussing the story, the mystery of the missing cap, the story Dr. Sword, I have planned to discuss with you the piece of biography, that is Stay Hungry, Stay Foolish. Okay. Now this piece is very exciting, very inspiring, and it is life changing, life transforming a speech delivered by Steve Jobs, the co-founder, the chairman, the chief executive officer of the American computer company, that is Apple Incorporation. He is well recognized as a pioneer, as the father of modern computer, and without him modern computers, your telephones would have been a dream. Now this famous businessman Steve Jobs was born in the year 1955 and passed away a few years ago, that is in 2011. And his life can be divided into three phases, three parts, three dots, and this piece has also three sections, three units. I have planned to discuss each individual section, individual unit in one class, because it is not an ordinary story, just like the mystery of missing cap. Okay, it is the story of a person's life that can influence the lives of millions of youngsters. Now this happens to be a speech delivered by the narrator, this writer Steve Jobs, in the convocation ceremony, the passing out ceremony of Stanford University, which awarded degrees to its students. It was in the year 2005. 2005 ମସିହାରେ ଷ୍ଟିଭ୍ ଜୋବ୍ସ ଷ୍ଟାନଫୋର୍ଡ ୟୁନିଭର୍ସିଟିର ଯେଉଁ ଡିଗ୍ରୀ ପାସ୍ ଆଉଟ୍ ପିଲାମାନଙ୍କର ଯେଉଁ କନଭୋକେସନ୍ ସେରିମନି ହେଉଥିଲା, ଯେଉଁଥିରେ କି ସେ ଜଣେ ପ୍ରବକ୍ତା ହିସାବରେ ଅତିଥି ଭାବରେ ସେ ଯୋଗଦାନ କରିଥିଲେ, ତାଙ୍କର ସ୍ପିଚ୍ର ଯେଉଁ ତିନୋଟି ଭାଗ ରହିଛି, ଥ୍ରୀ ପାର୍ଟସ୍ ରହିଛି, ସେ ତିନୋଟି ପାର୍ଟକୁ ଆମେ ତିନୋଟି ଭିନ୍ନ ଭିନ୍ନ କ୍ଲାସ୍ରେ ଡିସ୍କସନ୍ କରିବା, ବିକଜ୍ ଦେ କ୍ୟାନଟ୍ ବି ମିକ୍ସଡ୍ ଆଣ୍ଡ ମିଙ୍ଗଲ୍ଡ ୱିଥ୍ ଇଚ୍ ଅଦର୍. They have their separate entity, separate importance. आमे तीनटा को एकाथर के सारे को चेष्टा करिबा नहीं, कहीं प्रत्येक यूनिट तांको जीवन गोटे पर्याय को उपस्थापित करुछि. At the outset, the writer says, life is just about joining dots. जीवनटा किछि नुहे, केतोडे बिंदुर संयोग. We cannot join the dots backward. We have to join the dots forward as we move on, as we go ahead, as we live on and on. We can connect dots, different events in our life. Now you see, this writer Steve Jobs, while delivering his inspirational speech to the young students of Stanford University, recalled his early days when he was also a graduating student of Reed University, another famous university of the USA. Now, he could not complete his course, he could not get his degree because his career as a student was marked with drop in and drop out. Admitted as a regular student, but he did not like to continue there as a regular student, only he came to attend such classes which were interesting to him, and in other classes he was absent. जदिओ जड़े नियमित छात्र भाव से रीड यूनिवर्सिटी नाम लिखी किंतु सी कौन करती ना फास्ट 6 months सी कौन करती ना रेगुलर क्लास अटेंड कले. ही फाउंड नो इंटरेस्ट, ही फाउंड नो यूटिलिटी इन कंटिन्यूइंग देयर एज ए रेगुलर स्टूडेंट. तेणु कौन कले प्रथम 6 मास क्लास कले तापर के दिन क्लास कले नहीं. फॉर अनदर 18 months he came in to attend classes and went away for several days. आउ जो 1.5 वर्ष टोटाल हूँ 2 वर्ष से पाठ पढ़ी एज ए स्टूडेंट तापर छाड़ीदे कॉलेज विदाउट गेटिंग ए डिग्री. तेणु आउ जो 18 मास कौन करती ना मझे मझे आसती क्लास करती पुणी के दिन आसती नहीं. एंड व्हाई डिड ही फाइनली क्विट हिज डिग्री, क्विट द कॉलेज. एंड इन दिस यूनिट द narrator tells us about his early days, about the 3 phases of his the first phase of his life, about his parentage, about his schooling, and about his leaving the college with gaining some knowledge, some idea. ए फास्ट यूनिट आम देखा तांकर अर्ली डेज विषय, तांकर पेरेंटेज विषय, आउ से जो 2 वर्ष काल से पढ़ी ता भितर से की ज्ञान आहरण करथिले. नाउ हिज लाइफ वाज फुल ऑफ अप्स एंड डाउन्स, फुल ऑफ अनसर्टेनिटी. ही वाज ए फोस्टर चाइल्ड. He was adopted by a parent who were not graduates. His mother was not a graduate from any university and his father was not also a graduate from any school. How it happened? Now, his biological mother, while reading in a college, carried him and she decided to give him birth, although she was not married. We may call him the ill-begotten child, illegal child, without father, without a regular father. He was carried, he was given birth by his biological mother. And before delivering him, before his birth, his mother decided to hand over the child to someone who must have been a graduate. लेखक तांकर माँ जितेबाला डिग्री पढ़ुथिले, ग्रेजुएटिंग स्टूडेंट थिले, विवाह करनथिले, से समय कोनोसी अवैध संपर्क जोगु से राइटर को कन्सीव करथिले एवं से चाहिए तांकर जो गर्भस्थ संतान को से जन्म देव एवं एमिति लोक को तार लालन पालन दायित्व देवे जी कि गोटे मिनिमम ग्रेजुएशन पास करथिबो, यूनिवर्सिटी ग्रेजुएट हेथिबो. नाउ पीपल वर इंटरेस्टेड, दे एनरोल्ड देयर नेम्स, रजिस्टर्ड देयर नेम्स. द फर्स्ट टेमेंट्स वर ए लॉयर कपल. Now, when the writer was born, Steve Jobs was born, the lawyer couple declined. They refused to accept him because they wanted to adopt a girl child. You see, जो लॉयर कपुल प्रथम हकदार थिले जो मानकर सीरियल नंबर 1 रे थिला से माने आमको दरकार थिला झियो पुओ होइছে हम ताको नबुनी. In the second position was his adopted parents, foster parents. Now, as I have told you, his father never passed matriculation and his mother never graduated from any university, and they came to the second position. And when the writer's biological mother got to know about their education, she didn't like to hand over her child, baby son, to them. Some months passed, and after several months, finally, the writer's biological mother, that unwed graduating student, relented a little, and she, under promise, handed over the responsibilities, the caring of her child to these undergraduate parents. तेणु परिशेष राइटर जी जन्मदाता दात्री माँ से टिके नरम हेले एवं डिग्री हासिल करि नथिबा सेही तांकर राइटर जो फोस्टर पेरेंट्स रही पालित पितामाता अच्छी तांको प्रतिज्ञा करेले जे तमे मो पिला को मिनिमम ग्रेजुएट करेबो. तेणु अंडर दिस प्रोमिस writer became the foster child of his parents and keeping to keep their promises despite their poverty, despite being a family of labor class, they enrolled the writer in a famous American university, that is Reed University. Okay, now after attending several classes, the writer realized that he is pursuing degree course in that Reed College was of no use for him. What it would bring him in future? What is the purpose of his studying there? Why should he waste his father's hard-earned money? Why should he waste his father's lifelong savings? केते दिन पाठ पढ़ला परे राइटर भाविले मु जो एठी डिग्री पढ़ुची ये डिग्री पास करी कौन, ये डिग्री करियार उद्देश्य कौन? केवल बेकार मोर बापा माँ गरीब बाप मांकर कष्ट अर्जित संपत्ति को नष्ट करुच्ची, तांको जीवन में जेती से संचय कर मो पाई खर्च करुचंती. इट इज ओनली ए फार्स. दैट इज व्हाई instead of coming to attend the classes regularly, he decided to drop in to attend such classes which were interesting to him. And which were interesting to him? Now he was fascinated by the posters, the writings on the walls, the beautiful calligraphy, beautiful handwriting, because at that time there were no printers, नो कंप्यूटर्स. से समय कौन कंप्यूटर नथिला किबा कौन भल प्रिंटर नथिला जहाँद्वारा कि आम सब लेटर को डिजाइन करवा, विभिन्न प्रकार इटालिसाइज करवा, ताको शैडोइंग करवा, ये सब किसी नथिला. तेणु इट वाज रीड कॉलेज व्हेयर कैलीग्राफी वाज बीइंग टॉट, एंड दिस कैलीग्राफी created interest in the writer. And when he came to attend the class, he shared a bed in the dormitory with his friends, and he collected the Coke bottles and sold them at 5 cents. And on Sundays he went to the Hare Krishna temple, where he enjoyed a very delicious meal. Mark. The CEO, the would-be CEO, chairman and co-founder of Apple company had such a past life, had such a precarious, penniless life, who was unable to pay for his own meals, who had to share a bed with his friends, who had to collect Coke bottles and to sell it for few pennies. Now, this boy managed in this way for several days, I have told you, for 18 months, and finally he left the college and he got some idea. He learned the art of calligraphy, typeface, serif and sans serif, etc., etc. That means, as a whole, he learned how to create different designed letters, different words, fascinating words, and how to create gap, some space in between words, so that when they are printed, they can magicate others, they can invite attention of others. तामाने से जो 18 मास से केवल कैलीग्राफी शिखा गले से समय से जानले अक्षर गुड़ी को केमिति सुंदर करी लिखा जाय परिबो, केमिति अक्षर को डिजाइन करा जाय परिबो, केमिति वर्ड मझिरे किछि शून्य स्थान रखा जाय परिबो, जा द्वारा कि लेखाटा जेतेले छपा हबो सेतेले बहुत आकर्षणीय हबो, लोकर दृष्टि टाणिबो. ओके. Now, at that time when he was learning calligraphy, he did not have an inkling of any idea, not a little idea, how this calligraphy, this typography, this typeface, this serif and trans serif would be helpful him in future. Calligraphy शिखला बेले से केबे भी भाभी नथिले जे एईटा जो मु शिखुची फॉरगेटिंग अदर लेसन्स, एई जो पाठ पढुची सेरा भविष्य मोर को काम रे लागिवो. ओके. एंड एट द एज ऑफ 17 when he was only 17 years old, से समय कौन कले ना फॉर द फर्स्ट टाइम with the help of his friend, he tried to have a practical application of his knowledge, theoretical knowledge. से जहाँ सब शिखिले रीड कॉलेज जो कैलीग्राफी शिखिले सेटा से कौन कले ना 17th एज रे 17 वर्ष बयस रे से पाठ ये कले. जो 20 वर्ष होइछि से समय कौन कले ना से जो ज्ञान कौशल को प्रयोग करिए his friend and the writer designed in their father's garage the first ever computer, that is Mac or Macintosh, and it became very notable, very famous for its Windows, for its typeface, for its proportional spacing, so on and so forth. तेणु बर्तमान से देखिले से जो ज्ञान कौशल को प्रयोग करी से एवं तांकर बंधु दुनियार सर्वप्रथम पर्सनल कंप्यूटर जाना होची मैसिंटोश मैक तार उद्भावन कले. आउ से जो मैक सारा विश्व रे तार जो टाइपफेस पाई तार माने शार्प एंड ट्रांसफर पाई तार जो स्पेसिंग पाई फेमस हो गला एंड से दिन से जानिले जे perhaps this was the purpose of God behind my leaving the other classes and focusing on this one, that is calligraphy. And after that the writer tells us he did not know what would be the future of his lesson, calligraphy lesson. Only when he created, he designed the first ever personal computer, then only he got back, he ruminated, he thought about his past, and he found out that his past was not a waste, rather it was a fruitful investment of time and money on learning calligraphy. Now therefore, as a businessman, as a pioneer, as an innovator, as a designer of a computer, he advises the students of not only Stanford University but all of us that don't jump to any conclusion. What to do? You have to trust that the dots will somehow connect in your future. What incidences are taking place in your life, what course, what acquisition you have at present may have some implications in future. तुम जीवन में आज जहाँ घटी जाऊँगी तुम्हें आज जहाँ करुछ से विश्वास भरोसा रख जे निश्चित सेटा तुम भविष्य काम लगे ताले कौन करिया पड़िबो ना सिंपली यू हैव टू डू वन थिंग, दैट इज you have to trust in yourself, you have to trust in your destiny, you have to trust in your guts, your courage, you have to trust in your life, you have to trust in your karma, the karma whatever it may be. There is no particular work which leads a person to greatness. तुमर कर्म जहाँ होना कहीं से कर्म करि चलो, कर्म करने साहसिकता थाओ, कर्म करने तुम पाखे धैर्य थाओ, कर्म करने तुम निष्ठा थाओ, आउ तुमर यही प्रकार जीवनचर्या तर निर्धारण करिवो and have a deep faith on it, and this approach has never let me down and it has made all the difference in my life. This approach, believing in karma, कर्मण्य बाधिकारस्ते माँ फली सुखदाचन, कर्म रे भरोसा जो मैंने करती से माने केबे कर्म व्यर्थ जाए ना। तेणु ये जो कर्म उपरे विश्वास भरोसा रखिबा, वर्क अलोन डिटरमाइन्स योर फेट, वर्तमान जो कर्म भविष्य से तुम भाग्य होइके आसे। तेणु ओनली वन थिंग माय चिल्ड्रेन, डियर स्टूडेंट्स, believe in sincerity, devotion, honesty in your work, and whatever you think right for yourself, do it sincerely, honestly, putting your 100% and with courage, and leave everything to destiny, leave everything to God. Thank you very much for listening to my lecture, and if it is interesting to you and if you feel that my lessons will be helpful to you, don't forget to subscribe to my channel, to share among your friends, and to leave a comment. Thank you all. Take care.